Hello, 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 Facebook world, YouTube. Welcome in. We're going to give people a few minutes just to come in. I want you to like this video, share this video. We want to briefly speak to the kids of LOZ and anyone that may be watching this today. We want to just give you a word of encouragement as it relates to some things, some historic things that have happened this past week and throughout the last few years. So we're going to give you a moment to get in here, like it, share it. This is a parent watching. Get your kids. We won't be on here very long, just a few minutes. Gather your kids. We want to encourage them. Felt led to come on this morning and encourage our kids with some things. So again, like this video, share it. Let me know that you're on here. Let me know that you're watching so that I know who we are talking to today. If you will, you can start a watch party as well to get some people on, and that will be beneficial to us as well. Hello, hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. I want to briefly encourage our kids and anyone that may be watching on today. Myself and Jazz decided to come on this morning and just encourage our kids. I think it's so vital that we don't miss this moment and that we help our kids to understand the magnitude of what's happening. This isn't about politics. This isn't political, but I think this is a very important moment that we make sure that our kids are aware of. So let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're logged in. Get your kids. I want your kids to see this. This is for the kids. No matter how young or old they are, they need to hear this. It's very important. It's very important. I'm actually I'm taking the month off this month from LOZ and things like that in preparation for my exam. But I felt led to come on this morning. I felt led to just briefly encourage our kids. I'm gonna ask Jazz to come on with me. Last night, as I was watching the news and things like that, the Lord just kind of spoke to me to speak to your kids and let them know what's going on and what's possible. So comment. I see some people are commenting already. I want to know the Austin boys are on. Hey, Austin boys. Hey, Noah. Hey, Joshua. I'm glad that y'all are on. Y'all let me know you're here. If you're watching, I see some people are coming in now. So I just want to give people a moment to come in. This will be available once we go off as well. But I want to get as many people on as we can, specifically our kids. So gather your kids around. They may be having a late breakfast or something right now, some cereal, whatever it is, but they can watch this as they do it, because I don't want to miss this moment in history, and I don't want to miss this moment to teach our kids, All right. So thank you all so much. This was kind of impromptu, wasn't planned ahead, but we were led to do it. So we'll go ahead and get started. I see some people already shared the video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see that you shared it. We have people watching on YouTube. We have people watching on the Lions of Zion Facebook page. So thank you all so much. So I wanted to come on and simply really not only educate our kids, but encourage them. And very simply, the Lord, wanted me to impart in them that anything is possible. That anything is possible. Very simply, that anything is possible. A lot of, what I've learned in youth ministry is that you can keep it simple. You have to keep it simple with the kids. You have to keep it simple. And I want to keep it simple. Anything is possible. That is what I want you to understand today. That is what I want you to know today. All right. So centered around that, I want to give you a verse of scripture that may be familiar to many of us. And if it's not familiar to you, I want you to get familiar with it. All right. Philippians 4:13, Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm going to read it again. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I, put your name there. All right. That's for each one of us. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I don't want you to ever forget that. There'll be moments in your life where you feel like you can't do some things. There'll be people in your life that may try to convince you that you cannot do something. Okay. There'll be times in your life that you specifically, you as a minority, you as a Black child, you as a Black person, sometimes society and just different norms will lead you to believe that certain things are reserved for certain people, that certain things can only be attained by certain people that look a certain way. And I want you to understand today that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to be, it is possible. Okay. We're in the year 2020 and there is nothing that you cannot achieve. Now, this was not the same reality for our grandparents. This was not the same reality for our great grandparents. Okay. Many of you will learn, if you haven't learned already, that historically, Black people have been oppressed. Black people were enslaved. Black people had to earn, had to fight, and literally some people died just for the right to vote, just to be able to cast our ballot. I'm sure you heard over the last few months, vote. Everybody should vote. We have to vote. Make your voice be heard. I want you to understand that your ancestors had to fight and literally die just to get that right to vote, just to be able to put their choice on a ballot and put it in a box, because Black people were not allowed to vote. All right. So as you grow old and as you become an adult, I don't want you to ever take that right for granted. I don't want you to ever think that your vote does not matter, that your vote does not count. You should never go through any election and your voice has not been heard. All right. Whether it's local, whether it's national, I want you to understand that our ancestors fought for our right to vote. And not only is this important because our ancestors fought for the right to vote, and many people back then did not think that Black people would ever be able to vote. But I'm going to go a step further with it. There are people that are alive today that did not think they would ever see a Black person in the White House. There are people that are alive today that thought that that would have been impossible because of the oppression and because of the things that were in place to keep Black people down. There are people alive today that did not think that they would ever see a Black president, a Black vice president, or any Black person in any position of power that way. Well, some years ago, we all voted and we were able to put this guy in office, Mr. Barack Obama, the first Black president of the United States of America. This is vital. This is what I want you to understand. Black boys, anything is possible. If Barack Obama can make it to the White House, you can too, or anything else. You know, society and the things that we grow up around sometimes lead us to believe that there's only a few ways to get out of our neighborhood. Like, you got to be a rapper, you got to be a football player, you got to be a basketball player. But let me tell you, anything is possible. You can be a president, you can be a CEO, you can be a business owner. You do not have to be constrained to the norms that are around you. You do not have to be constrained by the things, by the struggle that you may be growing up in. If Barack Obama can make it to the White House, you can too. I want to show you that picture again. So just so that you can see that anything is possible. This is the first Black president of the United States of America. This was an historic election. There were people crying when he got elected because they did not think that they would ever see this. They did not think that this was ever possible, that a Black man would be the president of the United States. Anything is possible. That's my message for you to you today. Anything is possible. If Barack can do it, so can you. Not only that, yesterday rather, we the results of this current election came in, and we found out that Joe Biden had won the election for the president of the United States. Well, along with that, more history was made. That history was centered around this woman right here. That is Kamala Harris. She is going to be two things: the first Black vice president, the first Black woman vice president, the first woman vice president. She has checked off so many boxes in this election. Okay, a woman vice president, a Black woman at that. I want you to look at this. Young girls, I want you to look at this. I want you to see this. Anything is possible. For many years, even after Blacks got the rights to vote, and even after some of the oppression lifted a little bit, women were still oppressed. Women were still held down. There's some people that respect Black people more than they respect women as a whole. There's some men out there like that. And I want you to understand that anything is possible. We did not ever think that we would see a woman in the White House, especially a Black woman. Who would have thought that the first woman to hold the position of vice president would be a Black woman? We would have never thought that. But my message to you today is that anything is possible. If Miss Harris can get to the White House, you can too. Young girls, young lady. If Miss Harris can do it, so can you. I can't stress enough that anything is possible. Remember the scripture: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I want you to understand that. I want you to get that. I want you to start to think about and look at these two individuals as role models. Okay. A lot of times we have role models that, aren't really the best role models. But I want you to look at these two as role models, because they have made it and they have done things that people did not ever think they would be able to do. I'll let Jazz chime in and add on some things here as well.
Yeah, so Minister Brand has already very eloquently put it that this is really a proud moment for just people of immigrant descent, people of minority descent. We're so happy to see these barriers being broken. But just to go back a little bit historically, there was this image that was floating around on social media that was so powerful, and we're going to put it up here. And I actually didn't really understand it when I first saw it, but my friends explained it to me. And so what it is Ruby Bridges on the left and Senator Kamala Harris on the right. And so it just explains the progression of where we've come from. Ruby Bridges was the first Black woman to go into segregated schools back in her time. And so she's being escorted into school by police officers. And now, decades later, we have Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, who in the shadow of Ruby Bridges on the right, is now strutting into the White House. So we went from being escorted into into schools on the left where we weren't even wanted, and then now we're walking into high positions into the White House on the right, where she was elected to do so. So that dichotomy of going from where people don't even want you into now where you are literally voted into this position, and you're doing it because of the barriers that were broken by the people who came in front of you. So this was just a very powerful image that can be just used as motivation to all of us, but specifically, I just want to talk to young Black women. Yesterday was just an amazing day to be a Black woman. You have just this historical moment in that we're all able to say, wow, now I can look forward to something like that. Just like he said, all things are possible. And so another point that I want to just emphasize is the fact that Senator Kamala Harris came from a historically Black college, Howard University. And the stereotype from some, I won't say the vast majority, is that HBCUs don't adequately prepare you for the real world. And I just smirk when I hear that comment, because three crucial, crucial people who turned this election, turned Georgia, and now resulted in this Biden-Harris, bid, come from HBCUs. You have Keisha Lance Bottoms, mayor of Atlanta, who graduated from FAMU in Tallahassee, where many of our children go once they graduate from high school down in South Florida. And then now, and you have Stacey Abrams, who, again, Spelman College graduate, my personal alma mater, another HBCU. And then now, again, you have Vice President-elect Senator Kamala Harris, who graduated from Howard University. All three strong, powerful, beautiful Black women who have helped turn this election and made history. All three from HBCUs. So when you hear something like from, people who are ignorant, really, that say something like, oh, HBCUs don't prepare you, I understand why you guys want to go to schools that everybody looks like you. Well, this is the reason why. You have three women who've just broken barriers and have set the example for so many generations and generations to come. So we want to thank them for just being bold enough and proud enough to make history. It's just moving. And lastly, I just want to touch on this Greek unity that I've been seeing across the board as well. Many may or may not know that Senator Kamala Harris is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the first female sorority of Black origin. And so now, everybody thinks, oh, when you're a member of one organization, you may not support the other. But what we've seen is widespread Greek unity in support of Senator Kamala Harris. And that's what it's all about. Because I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. But as you can see, members of all Greek organizations, sororities, and fraternities have stepped up to support this strong Black woman in her bid for vice presidency. And she has been successful. And we are so proud just to see someone who, we all have similar values, similar goals in mind. And so we're just so grateful, and we push forward for her, we support her, and we stand strong in that Greek unity. So even if whatever, sorority, fraternity you choose to pursue, if you do or don't, just know that at the end of the day, we're all for the advancement of people of color. And so we're so grateful and just so proud of this woman. And again, the three HBCU graduates who have just really pushed the envelope and have changed the trajectory of the future for us all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a great point about the HBCUs. And we've been seeing a turn in HBCU athletics, where a lot of times our young Black males felt, they had to go to the big schools to make it to the NFL, the Alabamas, the Clemson, and for a lot of years that's true. And it is still true right now. But we're starting to see a turn. Deion Harris, Hall of Famer, and Deion Sanders, became head coach, I believe, at Jackson State. Big hire. His son just decommitted from the school he was at, and he's going to go play quarterback for him. So I want even our young athletes to understand that, the power is in your hand. Okay. These schools, they make money off of you. So if all of us come together and we start to go to these HBCUs instead of, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, things like that, we can turn this thing around where the HBCU is now going to be the premier organization. It's going to be the one. It's going to be the school that is going to be on ESPN, on Saturday nights and things like that. So don't feel like because it's a Black school that it's less than, right? Because that tide is turning, man. We are seeing that HBCUs have been producing greatness, okay, but it hasn't been seen that much. But we see now that HBCUs are producing greatness. And listen, whatever school you choose to go to, that's great. We're not putting down one or the other. We just want you to understand that HBCUs, contrary to what people I believe, can prepare you for the real world and can prepare you for success. Okay. So I want you to understand that. I want you to get that. This is all about you understanding that anything is possible. Okay. There's still a lot of bad things in this world. There's still a lot of hatred. There's still a lot of racism. but anything is still possible. Don't let anyone tell you any different. We've given you so many examples of that. We've shown you people who you can look up to and say, I want to be like them. And maybe it won't be in politics or whatever it is. Okay. And this video isn't about politics. This isn't endorsing anybody. This is all about our kids understanding that anything is possible. You know, a lot of times these elections, especially this one and the one of Barack Obama, it was symbolic. Put your political ideologies aside, whether you like them or not. This is symbolic. Okay, for our black kids to see a black person in the White House, that is symbolic, and that means something, because we won't be what we do not see. Okay, we won't be what we do not see. So that's why this matters. That's why this is important. That is why we want to put it right in your face so you can see it, so that one day you can be it. All right. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things. Anything is possible. Keep Christ first in your life. Keep God first in your life. Understand that it's through his strength and it's through what he's put in you that you can do all things. And if you have Christ, you never have to do it alone. We simply wanted to get on here today to encourage our kids. If you missed it, I want you to go back and watch it. I want you to show some children this. Okay. I want you to show some teens this. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on our Facebook. I need you to make sure that you show somebody. I need you to make sure that they see this so that they understand that absolutely anything is possible. Thank you so much to my wife, future Dr. Jazz, for joining me on this morning. I wanted both of us to do it because she's a product of HBCU, and she is on her own path to being successful. She's on her own path to being something great. So I just wanted for you to see her. You know, she's a role model to a lot of young black girls, and I want us. I pray that both of us can be role models as we go forward and show you that anything is possible. All right. I love each and every one of you. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this. This was not planned. This was an impromptu thing. But the Lord probably would have punished me had I not done it, because he put it on my mind last night and I had to make sure that I did it today. So thank you so much. Like it, share it. Make sure you show some kids this. And remember, anything is possible. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so can you. God bless you. We love you. Until we see you, be safe and be good. Bye-bye.